So since I've started dating my girlfriend, we go to quite a few like antique malls and thrift stores and stuff. And we went to an antique mall in Chambersburg, I believe it was Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. I believe that's the name of it. And I got a few knives, but I think this is my favorite thing that I got there. And this is it's a replica of a 1908 Sears and Roebuck catalog. And this thing is just really cool because it just has everything that Sears and Roebuck would have had in 1908. And Sears and Roebuck sold like everything. Like this was like the Walmart plus like anything you can think of Sears kind of sold back in the day. So this is a very cool thing. Now, granted, it is a replica. I think it's from like the 60s. My girlfriend did look, and I think it was printed in the 60s or something. Say here. Yeah, it's right here. 1969 by the Gun Digest Company. Interesting. There are guns in here because this is a Sears and Roebuck catalog from, well, replica from 1908. And I paid $8.50 for this, and I believe it was worth every little bit of it. Since you guys are my viewers, I did bookmark a page here that I know all of you are going to be real interested in here. And that is, of course, the pocket knives here on this page. So if we look a little bit at these here, we get some familiar looking patterns. That looks a lot like a Great Eastern Cutlery 97, like a big, large Coke bottle pattern. 60 cents for that knife. And this is a Wilpert Daniel Boone hunting knife, and it looks fantastic. Some of these other knives here, there's like a boy's knife, kind of. They call it a 2-blade jack. These are all Wilbert brand, it looks like, which I've never heard of before. But I've never really, have much experience with knives that are that old because, there's not very many of them around still. This is cool. A one arm or a razor. They still did call it a razor back then. Interesting. Razor blade jackknife. These with a stag handle. Steel lining and everything. It's 33 cents. Talk about a really nice, a really affordable pocket knife. Of course, back in those days, I mean, I don't know what your hourly wage was, but I imagine it was probably like a few cents. So, these are incredibly cheap by today's standards. And I think, if you accounted for inflation and everything, these would still be really cheap compared to stuff like Great Eastern Cutlery, but I'm not sure on that. Of course, wages have gone up over the years, but in the last, decade here, it's been kind of, the wages have kind of stagnated. The wages have stayed similar over the last like decade for most people, unfortunately. So like back in these days, you weren't making a whole lot of money, but I think with like inflation compared to today, you were probably making more as like a when you account for inflation and everything. But I'm not going to get into economics because I don't know anything about economics other than the fact that it seems like most Americans don't make enough money to live comfortably, I guess would be the descriptor. Anyway, back to pocket knives. Let's talk about happy things and not depressing things. But yeah, look at these knives. And here's one with like a bail and a chain, like my boy's knife came with. That's cool. There's a Barlow here, a tip top 2-blade Barlow pattern jackknife, steel lined. Look at this, 25 cents. So cool. Another like there's a lot of jackknives here. They're all very. This one's like a swell end, swell butt. Looks like they're calling it. That's interesting. But similar to like a Great Eastern Cutlery 85. So that's kind of cool. You have a trapper here. It looks like they call it a. Sorry, his catalog is big. It's like a phone book. If you guys know what a phone book is, all of you know what a phone book is. I know my audience. This is like a trapper, but they call it a sensible cattleman's knife. I don't think the trapper name really came about until later than this, because remember, this is a reproduction of a 1908 catalog. But these are some fantastic looking pocket knives, I have to say. There's a double end knife. Looks cool. You got a big clip blade there and a smaller pen blade. Another jackknife here. This one has a pearl handle. German silver. So that says German silver bolsters. I'm guessing that means nickel silver. They didn't call it that back then, maybe. This one looks cool too. Kind of looks a little bit like a what do I call that? Cigar pattern or a sleeve board. Kind of looks a little bit like a sleeve board. You got a lock back here. So there were locking blades in 1908. You got a pruning knife, a bigger jackknife, which looks cool. This thing up here that's neat for 60 cents. $1.12. Oh, that one's the locking one, it looks like. So that's interesting. I feel like if I had to pick one knife on this page, like if I could somehow bring one back or whatever, it would be a very tough decision to start. But I think I would probably want the big Coke bottle. Maybe this razor knife. That's pretty cool too. I like Barlow's, but I think some of these other ones are cooler. It does have a bone handle, so maybe I would go for the Barlow. I don't know. There's too many cool knives on this page to choose. They're all very cool looking. Then over here you got some straight razors. There is some more cutlery, like straight razors and stuff in here. I'm trying to do a good job of showing this. It's not great because I'm a little close, and you got your like strops and stuff for sharpening your razors and everything. Yeah, wish I could do a little bit better job showing this off. Should be further away, but then I kind of feel like you can't see everything quite as well. I don't know. But yeah, this is just a very cool thing, and there's like everything in here. But I figured this was probably the most interesting thing for people watching my YouTube channel. There's also some like shears or scissors, some like fixed blade knives here, some stuff that looks an awful lot like old hickory knives that Ontario makes. So that's cool. Very familiar looking. Cutlery sets and stuff. Let's flip to the firearms here for a minute. Got your like handguns and revolvers, and derringers, and all that fun stuff here. Some cool stuff here. Remington Derringer, Ivor Johnson hammerless revolver. Of course, it's not actually hammerless. The hammer's inside the frame, but it's besides the point. A Harrington and Richardson 22 caliber. That's pretty cool. 38 caliber. This would have been before, maybe not. I was gonna say this would have been before 38 special, but actually, I think 38 special was around. Maybe not though. But it is a 38. So this is probably just regular 38. Double action revolver with safety hammer, which I guess just means they cut off the barb of the hammer, whatever. They bob the hammer. Is that what it's called? You got your fancier stuff here. Look at these prices. This is hilarious. Like $5 for a nice revolver. Here you have a Winchester 92, which starts at $12.15, and then I guess depending on what other options you get, it could go up to $13.16. Winchester 94, which is still around today. Starts at $13.16, could be up to $15.53. So that's cool. Some more cool stuff, just some rifles and stuff. These break action shotguns. I remember when you used to be able to get these for like $80. They're not $80 anymore. They're like double that. For even the crappiest ones, they're still over $100. It's real sad. Where was this the self-loading pistols? Where were they at? The like semi-autos, because that's cool. Okay, here's some. This is before the 1911, of course. So we have Colt automatic magazine, 38 caliber, 8-shot pistol. Looks similar to a 1911, not quite there yet. And of course it's in 38. It's $20. One of my favorite handguns ever made that I'll probably never get a chance to own. This is the Colt Pocket Hammerless, I believe is what this was called. You could get one of these for $15, and if you get pearl handles, it's another $1.75, and another magazine is 90 cents. And then look at this here. 32 caliber automatic smokeless rimless cartridges with metal patched bullet. Interesting. I guess that means it has a jacket on it, I would guess. And the price for a box of 50 was 72 cents. So cool. You got a police revolver here, 32 and 38 caliber. Colt double action revolver looks a lot like a single action, so that's kind of interesting. Colt New Army. It's Colt single action, $15.50. That's a lot for a single action revolver, I would think. Although I guess they still cost a lot to make. It was just outdated by this time. Here you got a Luger. This is before World War One, but the Luger was still being made. I think it had literally just come out, pretty much. And this one's in 30 caliber. Of course, the ones the German military would have used were 9mm in World War II, and I believe they were 9mm in World War I as well. And you get some ammunition and stuff. This is a really cool like reference guide for stuff. You got some like loading stuff, it looks like, maybe. But yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff in here. I'll just flip to a random page here. You got a range and some other stuff here. Let's flip to another random page. Like plowing implements, it looks like. Oh, here's a department index. That's cool. Forge, portable forge, interesting. These are forges and stuff. It's cool. Some hand tools, like a grinding wheel, maybe. Interesting. But yeah, this is a really cool. You got some bed sets. Look at these crazy bed frames. These are all metal, like brass and stuff. Really cool. Some other stuff, parlor cabinets, music cabinets. This thing with pocket watches, this thing literally has everything in it. A piano, $195 for a piano. This thing has, like, literally, Sears had everything back in the day, and this is such a cool thing to find, I think, and this is definitely the highlight of my trip to the Chambersburg, one of the Chambersburg antique places. I was really happy to get this, and I paid $8.50 for it, and I think it's well worth it. But yeah, anyway, if you stayed around, actually I don't have any here, never mind, they're over there, so I won't show them. But there will be a video on some pocket knives that I got at the same antique place that I got this, but I wanted to show this first because I'm more excited about this, which is kind of funny. Carriages, but it's just really cool to flip through and look at what kind of stuff they had in 1908 and they offered and everything. And it's just cool that this is a thing that exists, in my opinion, and I'm happy to have it and add it to my like collection of books and stuff. So I was really excited about this. So there'll be a knife video on Monday, or there should be. This will be posted. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and post this tomorrow because this isn't a knife video. Normally I try to keep my like knife videos to Monday or Wednesday, and everything else is just kind of whenever. So, but anyway, I thought this was cool. Thought you guys might appreciate this as well as I did. But yeah, so anyway, it's gonna be it for this video on this 1908 Sears and Roebuck catalog replica from, well, this was printed in 1969. But yeah, I just thought it was cool. Anyway, see you guys in the next one. Hope you have a good day.